Chilling nights. Empty houses. Shadows that move when they shouldn't. Being home alone can be unsettling enough, but when the silence breaks, and something breaks with it, that's when the real fear begins. Tonight, we're diving into 3 terrifying true stories of ordinary people who were home alone, but lived to tell their haunting experiences. Grab a blanket, turn off the lights, and let's get started. Our first story comes from Leah, a college student who thought being home alone would give her some peace and quiet. But what she got was something far more sinister. Leah had just moved into her first apartment. It was a small 1-bedroom unit on the 3rd floor. Perfect for a busy college student. One Friday night, her roommates had gone out of town, leaving her alone for the weekend. She stayed up late working on a paper, sipping coffee, and enjoying the rare peace. But around 1 a.m., the calm shattered. She heard it, the faint sound of crying. A woman's cry, distant but unmistakable, coming from the hallway outside her door. At first, Leah thought it was her imagination, but the crying grew louder, closer. Whoever it was, they were just outside. Leah froze. Her apartment didn't have a peephole, so she tiptoed to the door and pressed her ear against it. The crying stopped suddenly, replaced by a soft whisper, "Let me in." She didn't move. She didn't make a sound. And then, the doorknob twisted. Someone was trying to get in. Leah grabbed her phone and called 911, her hands shaking. When the police arrived, they didn't find anyone. But next morning, Leah found scratch marks on her door, and a single red handprint. Leah never stayed home alone again. Our next tale comes from a young couple, David and Emma, who had just moved into their dream home. Little did they know, they weren't the only ones living there. David and Emma were settling into their new home. It was charming, but a little older, and it creaked more than they were used to. One evening, Emma was home alone while David worked late. She was in the living room watching TV when she heard a faint thud from above. She dismissed it as the house settling, until it happened again. And again. Finally, she decided to check it out. Emma grabbed a flashlight and opened the attic door. It was dark, damp, and smelled of old wood. She stepped inside, her heart pounding, and scanned the room. That's when she noticed it, a plate of half-eaten food sitting in the corner. Terrified, she ran downstairs and called David. When he came home and they thoroughly searched the attic together. They found a makeshift bed, clothes, and a small notebook filled with disturbing drawings. It turned out, someone had been living in their attic for weeks, watching them the entire time. This last story comes from Mark, a teenager who thought babysitting his younger brother would be an easy gig. But he quickly realized, the most unsettling calls don't always come from inside the house. Mark was 17 and home alone with his 6-year-old brother, Ryan. Their parents had gone out for a dinner date, promising to be back by 10 p.m. It was 9:45, and Mark was getting ready to send Ryan to bed when the phone rang. Mark picked up. At first, there was silence. Then, a low, raspy voice, "Are you alone?" Thinking it was a prank, Mark hung up. But the phone rang again. And again. Each time, the voice asked the same question, growing more insistent. "Are you alone?" Finally, Mark got angry and yelled into the phone, telling the caller to stop. That's when the voice changed. The person on the other end chuckled and said, "You shouldn't have done that." Then, the line went dead. Moments later, Mark heard the back door creak open. Someone was inside the house. Grabbing Ryan, he locked them both in the bathroom and called the police. When they arrived, they found muddy footprints leading from the back door, straight to the hallway where Mark had been standing minutes earlier. Mark and Ryan were unharmed, but to this day, they still don't know who the silent caller was, or what they wanted. Being home alone is supposed to be a time of solitude. A time of peace. But as these stories show, sometimes the things we fear most aren't locked outside, they're already close by. Let me know in the comments, Have you ever had a terrifying experience while being home alone? And if you enjoy creepy tales like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more chills. Until next time, stay safe.